So we've only got Apple's event today. I mean, a lot of new stuff dropped. That's a big sign. 5 hardware decisions, 5 hardware changes. So that's really promising. Let's get into it. So first hardware, not that big of a drop really. I mean, made a big deal out of it. All it really was a new iPhone. Just kidding. It's a purple iPhone 12. That's all it was. A new colorway. 6 months later than the originals. Yeah, kind of weird. They weren't out of paint then. I don't know why they would make a big deal about it now, but it looks cool. You know, maybe florally, like a jacaranda flower or something. So, purple iPhone 12 if you're interested. Second thing, again, not that big a deal, not too much of a change. Upgraded chip, new Apple TV, including Apple TV with an upgraded remote. That was the biggest complaint for most people was the remote. It's about the same size, maybe a little fatter. They moved the voice button to the side for Siri. They added a power button for the TV. They added a scroll wheel and arrow keys instead of the touchpad, which makes it a lot easier to like move through videos, scroll through video, or just pick something instead of trying to like swipe and try to decide how to place it on a certain point. So that's a plus. The Apple TV itself has some memory options with the new A12 chip, or a couple of years old A12 chip, just for faster processing. I mean, it can run 4K, so that's a plus. But other than that, it's kind of expensive. $179 for the 32 gig model, $199 for the 64 gig model. If you're gonna go that far, may as well go for the $199. It's an extra $20. You get double the space. It's probably why they priced it that way, but there you go. Third, we finally got AirTags, Apple's competition for the Tile devices. I mean, Tile, they came out with their own little version, little circle dots for finding devices, but AirTags, Apple's version, uses the Find My iPhone, if you're aware of that, on your iPhone, iPad, Find My device setup. So it uses that protocol, uses their U1 chips. There's a lot of privacy built in, and they were really heavily focused about that. I think that was a lot of people's concerns with these devices, is the fact that you stick them on something and people can be tracking you or finding you, and they drop it in your purse or something. So when you're actively being tracked or something like that, it kind of registers, kind of makes sound, and notifies you, stuff like that. They're not that expensive. I mean, a little expensive, $29, a little on the expensive side. You can get them engraved, like an emoji or something. But $29 for the one, $99 for a 4-pack. That's a pretty good deal. You do have to buy accessories separate. The new iMac, new iPad Pro. iMacs. Let's go to the iMacs. There's 7 colors now for the iMacs, which looks great. It's kind of a throwback. So that old Apple, the old color scheme. I mean, even if you remember the little colorful Apple logo that they had. But it's kind of a throwback. It looks really cool, honestly. I mean, the display, the size of it is really thin, looks kind of modern. It's kind of got a big chin, which kind of makes the front face of it look a little dated. It's kind of got like this big chin to the bottom of it. I mean, that's where they house the computer part. So like the iMac, it's an all-in-one, but it's only like 11 millimeters thin on the full thing. So most of it's the screen. It's got white bezels, you know, it's got a 1080p webcam, especially used for those that are working at home right now. But the chin, I don't know, it kind of distracts. It's kind of distracting. It matches the old iMacs, so I guess there's that. You know, it's kind of got consistency to it. But if you're looking for something bigger, I hope they do something different for the iMac Pros that we're hoping to see. Maybe in the same colorways, which would be really cool. But maybe they use like a full screen model, maybe make it a little bit thicker, and kind of move everything into the back. I think that would be a really good way to go, and maybe for the Pro models, that's what they will do. The iMacs do start at $1,300, but there's a catch. At the $1,300 base model, you get 2 USB 4 Thunderbolt ports. That's hard to say. 2 USB 4 Thunderbolt ports. Got it. And no Ethernet plug-in. So I'll get back to that in a moment. But there's no Ethernet, and you only get 4 colorways: silver, green, blue, red. Yeah, those 4. And also, you won't have access, I believe, to the Magic Keyboard with Touch ID. Those options only come on the higher spec models, which start at $1,500 and I think $1,800 or $1,900, something like that. That's where you get the other colors: yellow, orange, and purple. That moving up $200 opens you up to extra colorways. You get the Ethernet port on the separate brick from the power cable. So it's going to plug in similar to the current iMacs, but it's going to use a MagSafe magnetic charger type of thing on the back, which will run into a power brick that's on the floor. On that brick, for the higher spec models, you'll have an Ethernet port which you can hardwire, but not on the base model, not on the 1300 model. I mean, if you have really good Wi-Fi, that's not that big a deal. And if you're just using it for general purpose, again, not that big a deal. It'll work great, that's for sure. Kind of a bummer. I don't know why they wouldn't include the Ethernet port, but Apple's Apple. Lastly, let's get to the iPad Pro, my favorite device that they launched. Here's the thing. From the looks of it, it doesn't look like that big of an upgrade. I mean, new chip, same design, new screen. The screen's really cool. So, new chip. So the new iPad Pro is using the new M1 chips from Apple, the self-designed chips from Apple. So desktop class chips and a portable handheld device. Crazy. That should make it really cool. It's kind of hard to see a functionality for it at the moment, but I believe is where it will really kick in when people start getting in their hands, when it kicks in with June's WWDC event, where they hopefully will announce iPadOS 15. That's where I think the M1 will really start to shine and kind of start to show that Pro model version. But I mean, just the fact that it's portable, desktop class architecture, awesome. Screen. The screen is amazing. So for the 12.9 inch model only, it did bump in price, which I'll get to in a second, but the new 12.9 inch model uses a mini LED screen. So there's 10,000 mini LEDs behind the screen instead of like the 100 that were on the last model, to really give you a lot brighter, 1000 nit full screen brightness, 1600 peak brightness, which is just crazy. It's brighter than the iMacs. And it allows for a lot better contrast and color saturation. So that's a huge plus, right? But using the 12.9 inch model with an M1 chip architecture in the same kind of thin design of the iPad, which works with the Magic Keyboard, which comes in a new colorway actually. It comes in white. Not a favorite of mine. It's gonna get dirty super fast. It looks nice, especially with the silver. It kind of matches a lot better. But no, it's gonna be so dirty so fast. And it still works with the Apple Pencil. But otherwise, that's what I'm excited for, the iPad Pro, especially that 12.9 inch model. It did bump up in price. So last year there was the $999 for the A12Z, but this year they moved up because of the screen, because of the chip architecture. They bumped up the base model. It's 128 gigabytes with for $1099. The portability with the screen brightness will be much better outside. Plus it's 5G capable. If you wanted that, if you're looking for something like that, really sets the iPad apart from previous generation, in my opinion. And I think it'll really start to find its own feet, hopefully, because I mean, there's been a lot of talk about how the iPad just doesn't fit in anywhere at the moment. It's kind of in this weird gray area where it's really powerful, really portable, kind of can do a lot that a laptop already does, but it's not a laptop. It's an iPad. It's a tablet. So we'll have to see how that goes. But anyway, that was the Apple event today, guys. 420. So if you like this video, if you're new here, subscribe. If you like this video, like button down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.